Everybody knows this ghosting situation has happened by now. Nobody knows why he did it. Nobody knows why he won't say something and just address it, but he ain't, okay? And we all around for the fourth time, and it's not gonna be a third or fourth awkward night for all of us. So I'm gonna say something. I go up to the gentleman and I'm like, look.
So I made the move, I bumped her but I played it cool. DJ dropped Beyonce, I asked her who she catered to. She said I'm single, boo, I just hope you single too. But I ain't tripping, I'm just out having a drink or two. I replied,
what's up everybody, it's your girl Kristen back with another video. Let me go ahead and begin with this disclaimer. I am not in my usual recording spot and somebody's outside doing construction, so I don't know how much of that sound is going to get picked up during the video, so I apologize in advance for that if it's a distraction. So, on to the next thing. I am trying something a bit different with this video. I try to switch things up for y'all a bit here and now. Usually, when you have videos where I am in front of you on the camera, it's not necessarily scripted, but you know how like public speakers and pastors, they tend to like write their message out beforehand, or at least give themselves an outline, so they'll make sure to hit all the topics that they want to hit and just pretty much have an idea of where they want to go. That's what I do for those type of videos where it's just me and not segments, because if you haven't noticed in all this time, I am a rambler, okay? So I have one topic in mind and we'll stop here, go there, I'll go on all type of tangents. And so I try not to do that in my videos where it's just me and a specific topic. I try to get to the point, give y'all what it is I got on camera to give you, and get off. But I'm gonna try to do what I call freestyle videos, and this is gonna be my first of that kind. I feel like it'll give you a bit more authenticity and a bit more of my personality. So let's see how it goes. So today's video is about ghosting. Y'all know last October I started doing ghosted stories and I asked for submissions, and I do have one that I'm going to share with you, but I'm also gonna follow up with the topic of my own, and that is, why is ghosting still a thing in this day and age? Okay, let's get into it. Let's begin with the ghosted story submission that I received. A bit of context, this story was submitted anonymously, so I will not have names in it. And it's also from the angle of a man. So I'm telling the story. Yes, I'm very much so a woman standing here in front of you, but a gentleman submitted this story, so it's from a male's point of view. So if you hear me referring to like her and stuff, this is a guy describing a situation where he had with a young lady. Okay, so let's get into it. Back in the days when MySpace was the rage, before smartphones were the norm for people of all ages, I made it a habit to flirt online and even created a music page and persona to fit the vibe I was trying to give. Okay. One day I came across the profile of a cute girl. We'll call her T, okay? The girl is T. And the guy slid into her DMs and they hit it off. They spoke for a few months and he found out that T lived just a few cities away, but instead of him going to see her, she preferred if he got her a ticket to come see him. So him being young, he got her the ticket and they made plans for her to come up the next weekend that he was free. And I know you think that might be where the story ends, but she actually showed up and he picked her up from the bus station. Disclaimer, I know we're in the age of getting flued out, but every town ain't got no airport, okay? Some of us live in small towns. We're not that close to major cities with airports. So that was the case. She took the bus. He paid for the ticket, so she got bussed out. So, and he was surprised that she actually was the girl in her pictures. He was not catfished in this case. So the guy and T went to his house where she freshened up, and afterwards they went on a date. He took her on a tour of his school, and then he brought her to the place where he felt they made the best drinks. And the night ended as expected. A little razzle dazzle, and he said more than once. And so he thought everything was wonderful and she was fun to be around. The next day, they did it again. So, you know, they some little rabbits. Okay. They did it again. And then while smoking on the balcony, we're not promoting anything, but they were smoking on the balcony, she got on the phone with her homegirl and proceeded to give him the phone to talk to her. Now, as women, You know, that's a little something. If you got your homegirl talking to the boy like he's so great, but at the same time with boundaries, I don't know. You ain't talking to my man. So anyway, her friend seemed cool and she needed help with some computer issues. The guy is a computer tech by trade and he gets paid to fix computers. So the next time he was visiting his mother, he offered to fix her computer because in visiting his mom, she lived in the same city, so they exchanged information according to the story. So T and the guy enjoyed the rest of the afternoon together, but her bus back home was the same day, so he dropped her off and said goodbye. Over the next week, they texted back and forth, but one day, T just stopped replying. And after about a week, he checked her MySpace to message her, and her profile was gone. He called her friend to find out if she had heard from her, but she had also been having trouble getting in contact with her. After a couple of months, he gave up trying to reach her. He never heard from her again, nor did he ever find out her last name. Say what? So he couldn't even find her now if he tried. We're going to put a pin in there, okay? So he said his phone number did not change for the next 5 years, and he never heard back from T ever again. But he did hear from T's friend, but according to him, that's another story. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. What's that little part I wanted to put a pin in? Why you ain't know that girl doggone last name? He said he was young. We ain't even gonna get into all that. That was a cool ghosted story again, submitted by a gentleman who shall remain anonymous. So thank you for that submission. Y'all let me know what you think about that ghosted story. Have you ever been in a similar situation? I told y'all one of my ghosted stories last year, and it was something. It's still not the worst ghosted experience I have, but I still don't know if I'm going to share that other one. I haven't quite figured out how to share that one with enough, I don't know how to detract all the details so people won't get found out and be getting pissed. So we'll see about that one. But that is so crazy to me. I know that was several years back. He said at least 5 years at least 5 years old is that story. But it is 2021, a huge technological age, and people are still getting ghosted. And I want to know why. Okay? In this age, people claim to be so real, so raw, so upfront. Why? I think I just spit. Y'all might have saw that. Sorry. People won't claim to be so real, so raw, so upfront. Why are things like ghosting still happening? Like, the methods of communication are endless nowadays. How difficult is it to pick one of these methods of communication and say, hey, I'm just not feeling it anymore? Even more so, we're also in the age of like openness, open relationships, options. I ain't saying none of that stuff is right, but it is what it is. That's the time that we living in, right? So with that being a norm and socially accepted, how hard is it to say like, yes, I'm dating you, but I also kept my options open, and in dealing with this other person, I decided I like them a little bit more and I want to give my undivided attention to that now. Or if that ain't even the case, like just a simple, I ain't feeling it no more. How hard is that to do in this day and age? I really do not understand between all these methods of communication and as open, as real, and as much information sharing as we do nowadays, information oversharing especially. We really tell a lot of stuff that a lot of people just don't need to know. So in this day and age, why is ghosting still happening? I don't know why. I personally don't ghost people. I consider myself to be a very upfront, direct person. I try my best to be, okay? If anybody say I ghosted them, baby, holler at me, because I want the chance to prove you wrong, because I don't believe you telling the truth. I don't ghost people. Have I been ghosted? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why ghosting sucks. In my case, like a lot of people's cases, the whole situation between me and the guy who ghosted me, in the case that I'm speaking about, I didn't know him. He initiated our entire everything, okay? We talk so much about people chasing you down just to waste your time. I really feel like that was one of those moments. Sir, I didn't know you, was living my life perfectly fine. without knowledge, any knowledge of your existence. And I'm sure you was living your life perfectly fine without any knowledge of my existence. Once we came into each other's atmosphere and became aware of each other's existence, you took it upon yourself to invite, I guess, me into your life in sort of a way, because you extended the invitation, and I accepted that invitation based upon your initiation and began to engage with you, get to know you, what have you. And then you just up and ended like you don't know how we got here. That's the crazy part to me, like, sir. Also, again, me being as direct and open as I am, people tend to say, like, they try to spare women's feelings and don't know how to say stuff. I ain't one of those women. Again, you ain't gotta walk on eggshells around me, because all you're doing is wasting both of our time. I try my best to keep the channels of communication open. Like, just tell me if it hurt my feelings, if I cry. That's my problem, bruh. Just say something. If you don't say something, then that's on you. And I do feel like the people who ghost folks are at fault. A lot of times it can be like different sides to a story. Somebody may have tried to communicate their feelings with you and you didn't make room for that. Or what they communicated to you, you chose to ignore it, or you chose to interpret it differently, which is also on that person. But if they give you a fair warning, like, I want out, this ain't working out, okay. But if you don't give people that at all, then I feel like you're at fault for that and you're a ghoster. Is that a word? A ghoster. Whoever ghosts people, you a ghoster. And I just feel like that ain't right. You gotta give people a choice in the matter. Well, obviously you ain't got to, because people don't. But I feel like it's messed up not to give people a choice in the matter. And I feel like it's really hurtful to ghost somebody. I would rather you just hurt my feelings up front. If I really liked you and thought we was going somewhere, and I get disappointed by the fact that we're not on the same page and it has to end, that will hurt in some way. But I feel like ghosting hurts worse. Okay? Check it out. I feel like the place that you get people to at the time you decide to ghost them really depends on how detrimental that action will be. It's rude regardless, okay? But I feel like in my particular situation, if you have done all this work to get my attention, to spend time with me, to have me trust you enough to open up to you to some extent and to begin to care about you, ghosting hurts at that point, okay? Because when you go ghost, some people's mind goes straight to suspicion, right? But me caring about you, my first stop is concern. I'm concerned about your livelihood, your health, your well-being. Are you somewhere lying cold, dying, or dead? Like, have you been in a car accident and nobody knows? Your phone died or flew out the window. Nobody can reach you and you're somewhere suffering. That's where my mind goes to. And so that anxiety, that worry, that concern, that panic, you're calling people, trying to get an answer, trying to get an understanding. And it's like, have you heard from this person? You calling the friends that you cool enough with. And in a sense, you exposing yourself, because if y'all were not at a stage at that time for people to know that y'all were even talking, you're hesitant to even reach out to people, first of all, because now you're exposing the fact that y'all had something going on, and they're gonna be like, why is you calling asking about him? And now I gotta be like, we had something going on and I just haven't heard from him for a minute and I'm concerned, right? So, what can you tell me? Then, so you at that point, you probably done hit up a friend or a relative, you done exposed yourself, and homeboy looking like, homeboy know exactly where he is. He know exactly what's going on probably, because he probably know he's somewhere across town with an old girl, but you don't know. So now you done put friend in a crazy situation, because he probably gonna lie for you at that point. And some homeboys don't care nothing about lying on behalf of their homeboy. But some boys might feel like, man, this is a nice girl, I don't really want to lie to her. And some people like, I don't want to be involved. So I hate that you even standing here in front of me with this genuine concern, and I have an answer, but I don't want to be involved and give you that answer. So it's like ghosting has placed both of us in this situation. And depending on homeboy's response, now I'm knowing something is going on. So it lets me know at that time, well, he's probably not hurt. It sounds like he's okay, and his homeboy knows he's okay. So now I done went from concern to suspense to anger to annoyance, because it's like, what's really going on, right? Another reason why ghosting should not be going on at this point in time, there are so many mechanisms of communication and keeping up with people nowadays. You got to do more work to avoid people, to ghost people. Back in the day of landline phones and just running into each other, it was probably easy to ghost somebody. You just try not to be where you know they're gonna be at, and you just stop answering their calls, their little landline phone. Nowadays, you gotta not be where people at, block they number on your phone, but you also gotta block people on social media. You can block people on your email. Matter of fact, it's so crazy how many ways you can get in touch with people now. I got on Google Drive the other day, and Google Drive got a block feature now. How bad does somebody gotta be to get blocked on Google Drive? That is ridiculous. So anyway, you got all these areas in which you have to cover your tracks and block yourself off from this person, from them not being able to reach you, rather than just saying, hey, I'm not interested, I got a girlfriend, or I just found out I got a baby on the way. Okay, I had to woosah. My voice was all fluctuating and stuff, and that's how you know I'm really getting passionate about what I'm saying. So, another thing about ghosting, it just makes it awkward for everybody involved. In my situation, I'm sorry I keep referring to the story I never told y'all about, but like I said, it's too many identifiable people. I'm gonna figure out a tasteful way to get that story out. But anyway, in that situation, after the guy ghosted me, we had this large group of mutual friends, so we kept finding ourselves around each other so extremely awkward, okay? Matter of fact, I feel like that's a whole nother segment of how I had to be mature and quote unquote the bigger person in that situation, which I hate. It's bad enough for somebody to have already been wronged, but then you got to turn around and be the one being right and cordial and all that stuff. I hate when people ask that of other folks, but I found myself in that situation a few times, and I was mature about it most of the time. Not every time. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't mature about it every time, but most of the time I did the best I could. What was so annoying to me was, I think it was one of our last times finding ourselves around each other after the ghosting. Like literally nothing was said after this ghosting situation, and once I realized what was taking place, I took the initiative of like removing him from all of my social media and stuff. So we started seeing each other around these different gatherings that all our mutual friends was having. And so one time we was at this party, and I'm like, I'ma just go say something, which I feel like I didn't need to do because I'm not the ghoster here. You're the one who did wrong. You're the one who should be making it right. But people's level of maturity is so different, and it's annoying having to like overcompensate in these situations for things that you didn't even do wrong, but you're trying to smooth things over for the sake of everybody else around you, because everybody knows this ghosting situation has happened by now. Nobody knows why he did it. Nobody knows why he won't say something and just address it, but he ain't, okay? And we all around for the fourth time, and it's not gonna be a third or fourth awkward night for all of us. So I'm gonna say something. I go up to the gentleman and I'm like, look, I see you, you see me. We done been here around each other on these different numbers of occasions all the time, and it's been weird and stupid trying to ignore your existence and you trying to figure out like what to say or what to do with me, around me, and me just being like, ugh. So I want to be done with that. Nah, we ain't friends. Nah, we ain't good. We ain't even cool, but we gonna be okay. Like, we gonna address the elephant, because you ain't clearly finna do nothing about the elephant. So I'm gonna just address the elephant in the room. We know what happened. We know your tail was wrong. Clearly you ain't gonna be man enough to stand up and say and do nothing about it to even address it. Even if you ain't sorry, even if you're not apologetic, just be like, hey, I ain't even just gonna sit here and act like the last time we spoke we was on a whole different frequency, and now we're not there anymore for no reason, with no explanation. But all that aside, and talking to him, all that aside, We here. I'm tired of ignoring it because it's making it weird for everybody around us. No point in going around ignoring each other. Like I said, we ain't cool, we ain't nothing, but the air needs to be clear. I'm gonna be the one to break the ice. I ain't make the ice, but I'll go ahead and break the ice since you ain't gonna do it. And so I just feel like ghosting is just so stupid. And then after doing that, y'all, he gonna have the nerve to say, like, of course he apologized, whatever he did. But he was grateful that I said something, and he did what men tend to do. But anyway, it was just like, my thing with him though was like, you had every opportunity to say something throughout the time we was getting to know each other and spending time and talking, if you want to put that label on it. Communication was very open, very clear. If you ever feel a way about something, say something, okay? I ain't trying to marry you. This ain't no marriage contract. This ain't no business contract. We just here having fun while we here, seeing if maybe it's gonna go somewhere. Anytime you want out, just say that, just communicate. And you know, I was always open and encouraging of that. He like, yeah, I know. So what's your excuse? What be people's excuse when you have every opportunity, you have understanding, you have open lines of communication, and somebody that's mature enough and willing enough to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we both gone about our way like, why is ghosting still happening under these circumstances? So I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you think about the story between the guy and T. Her ghosting him after he bust her out into his town. Let me know what you feel about some of the points I brought up about ghosting in this day and age, how it looks nowadays, what goes into ghosting, and why are people still doing it? Is ghosting just part of fair game? Is it just part of love and war? Like, is that just something to be expected? Just one of those L's you take as we're trying to find our way to, I guess, a stable, long-lasting relationship? Is that if that's your thing, or is ghosting something that can totally be done away with and eradicated? So let me know what you think about it. If you ghosted someone, we want to hear about that. If you feel like there is real rhyme and reason and rationale behind ghosting somebody, do some people deserve to be ghosted? I want to hear all of it. And next year, look out for your chance again to submit your story into the Ghosted Story series. And we'll be back to do this again. Shout out to Jervis McGee, as always, for the music. And follow The Grease Single on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe here on YouTube. See, that's why I need my script. But anyway, this is Kristen, first freestyle video. I hope y'all liked it. Give me your feedback, and I will look for you in the comment section.
I just want you right now. Nothing else matters right now. Can I get you by yourself somehow and show you how I really get down? I just wanna show you where I live.
Shout out to Jervis McGee Music, as always, for that's why, to me, like, ghosting is just crazy. It takes such an effort to ghost somebody nowadays. It's just rude, it's just wrong, it sucks. So I don't know if I'm getting into the rambling phase. That's why I like to script stuff. I don't even know if I hit all my points about ghosting. I'm probably gonna get off of this recording and be like, dang, I meant to say this. But so let me think for a second. Ghosting. Now, hold on. Sorry, y'all, the air came on. Go off. Go off. Golly. At least construction didn't stop. Well, it sounds like it. Oh. I'm still waiting for the air to go off, y'all. I literally turned it off at this point. Like, I'm not even waiting for it. It just needs to go off. It needs to go away, and it's not doing it. So, another weird thing about ghosting, right? In the story I never told y'all. So, I know you think where the story I know you think this is where the story ends, but she actually came. So he picked her up from the bus station, and for those of you that's I know we in the flued out area, but every town does not have an airport nearby, so his town was one of those towns. We spoke for a few months, then we found out that T lived a couple cities away. But instead of me going to see her, she preferred if he got a ticket for her to come up and see him. Him being young, he got the ticket and they made plans for her to come up the next weekend he was free. So here's the ghosted story that I'm... Come on, oh my God. So this video today is about ghost